Good afternoon, this is Troy Moldy and I'm here with Jeremy Peterson and we are checking in for our monthly outreach. Today I'm just going to be covering a quick tutorial on how to navigate HUD Home Store. So without further ado, I'm going to pull the screen over here, and this is the front landing page. If you wanted to search a property, for example, if we wanted to look at the state of Minnesota, we could click on the state. Or you can also come down here in the navigation box where you have a drop down screen and you can type in your state there. Personal preference, I like to click on the state. You can go by county, city, zip code. You can get really specific. I always tell people that it's probably a little bit better if you go more vague, because if you get anything wrong, it won't show up. And I've had a number of people call me over the years asking, I can't find this property, and it's because they went too vague. They thought it was in a city when maybe it was a township and it was just listed slightly different, so it has to line up perfect. So for this case, we'll just go to Dakota County and see what we have. We've got one property here. Lo and behold, I'm the listing agent on it. And now we have the information here. When we're reading this website, we look over on the right column and it says it's in the extended status. There's different bid statuses, which I have covered in different tutorials. This means that it's open for, up here we see all bidders. That means anybody can bid, investors, owner occupants, and there's no priority. HUD will make a decision based on the highest net offer to the seller. Here we see it's an insured with escrow. What does that mean? We should pull up the addendums, take a look, and it's going to talk about the property disclosure. We can click on that. It'll open up and tell you what's going on with that property. Property condition report, PCR, that's what that stands for. Same thing with that. Investor notice, these are just some notices that you can take a look at. You want to know what you're getting into, because once you get an offer accepted, HUD will not renegotiate for any reason whatsoever. And then you talk to your buyer and see what you guys want to bid at. You submit the bid, submit an offer here. It's going to ask you as an agent what your status is on how you're selling. So if you're a government agency, nonprofit, and you have to have the NAID number still. So just because you're a nonprofit doesn't mean you're eligible. You have to have a NAID number and go through the certification process, which I've done in other tutorials, so I won't cover that today. But for the case of most people, you're going to be submitting as a selling broker. You're going to enter your NAID number here. If you don't know what that is, talk to your broker. And I can also show you where you can double check and see if your NAID is up to date. We'll go back on that in a second. And you click here, and then it takes you to the next page. It's going to ask you for your buyer's legal name. I always like to look on their driver's license to just make sure that it lines up with what their legal name is, just because there are cases where somebody has been called Henry but his real name is Mark and he just goes by his nickname. So use the legal name. And also you want to double check, which I can show you here, is when you log in, which I'm not going to do, it'll give you the option that you can modify your settings in here, and you want to make sure that your license is up to date. But if you wanted to check and see if your NAID application is up to date, you can click on NAID application, check for your current status. You're going to get your EIN number or social security number depending on how it was set up when the NAID number was applied for. You just type that in here and it'll tell you if it's expired and when it's going to expire. You do have to renew that once a year. So that is it for this week's tutorial. Just a quick walkthrough on how you can navigate HUD Home Store. And if you have any questions, as always, you can reach out to myself here or Jeremy Peterson. Let me just see if Jeremy has any questions. Jeremy, do you have any questions?
No, that looks good. We'll see you guys next month.
Looks like Jeremy doesn't have any questions, so we'll see you guys next month. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.